Hey guys, Courtney Epps here for another episode of Why You'd Be Brain Dead Not on a Business. And I've got here with me today a friend named Joe Hagan, and we actually met about a month ago in New Jersey and at Long Beach Island, New Jersey, and we went swimming together, we went surfing together, we hung out at a mastermind with about 60 people, and I just love. We've had some great conversations and we're in very much alignment. So I asked him to come on today. Joe, I appreciate you being here with me today. And can you just tell everybody kind of your background and what you do on a daily basis today?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. We had a blast. Um, a lot of things that we learned on that weekend in the head and also in the heart is awesome. I wore the sweatshirt because of that weekend. It's the last time I saw you personally.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, yeah, what I've done is spent the first 20 plus years of my career right out of college on Wall Street. Literally a really high intensity atmosphere as far as um, building a business, right? So I worked for a company and I was a licensed professional, but ultimately you work for yourself. Like you get out whatever you put in. And I remember my parents and my brothers asking me, like, is that salary plus commission? And I would look at who made the most money by far. And it was the kind of money that could only dream of making in a year, where I met people making that in a month. And I'm like, okay, well, that's the path that I want to be on. And so that's the path I stayed on. And I guess you can call me a stock junkie for almost 20 years. Courtney, got into the business on Wall Street. It was a time when you can get, I'm older, if you can't tell, right? So in the 80s, I graduated in 1989 and really hit Wall Street by 90, 91 strong. And you're coming off 10 to 12% CDs, right? Where there's no risk. And then you got real estate. And so, like, who wants to invest in the stock market? So I had to convince people of why you need some of your portfolio in stocks and bonds and good stocks, a good portfolio. And here are some strategies that I follow, and here are some philosophies that you should always consider. I was always a Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch value player. Get greedy when people are fearful, like Warren Buffett, and be fearful when people are greedy. Like when the .com happened. I have an uncle who was a Korean War veteran who didn't know anything about the market. And all of a sudden, when the .coms are flying, I saw him at a backyard barbecue, and he's telling me he had like 86 positions that he was trading on Daytech. I was like, what? And now my mailman's giving me stock picks. I'm like, wait a second. Things have gotten way, way crazy here. So that's when I got fearful, because I recognized in Warren Buffett, when people agree to get fearful. So I did that, did some great things, was able to provide for my family. I have 5 children. But ultimately what I recognized is that there's a retirement gap in this country. And that is the average American is retiring with 19 months of income saved, yet 23 years of life expectancy. So unless you're going to work,
Wow. Say that, Joe, you got to say that one more time for the people in the back.
Sure. So these are not my numbers. These are not opinion. This is according to the ACLI, the American Council of Life Insurers. The average American, okay, is retiring with 19 months of income saved. And yet that's less than 2 years, yet 23 years of life expectancy. So there's a problem. And one of the problems, I wouldn't put it all on this, is that a lot of people work and they just put all their money in a 401k or IRA, and they expect that retirement, they're going to get their gold watch, and say, all right, here's your IRA or whatever it is, and you're going to live off that. And it's just not true. And it's crazy now because 10,000 baby boomers are turning 65 every day for the next several years. And that's the average 65-year-old, right? That's the average typical retirement age. So there's a big problem. And I recognize that. So you could do something when you're 60 and 65, but you really want to do things when you're 30 and 40. And I know you have some great strategies. For me, I literally, because of proximity to Wall Street and some fintech pioneers and guys that are proven winners, I have access to deals that typically people on Main Street don't have. And it's just because of my relationships that I have forged over the years. And so when I'm able to take advantage of something myself that I think is superior, I bring it to everyone in my ecosystem, right? I learned a lot more about ecosystems and how to really like monetize it, right? Add value to it and merge it at that weekend with you, with the Unblinded team. But I've always thought of my clients and my friends and family and everyone in my universe as an ecosystem. And that's why I founded Wealth Colony. And I literally say, okay, this is what I'm doing with my money. You may want to look at this. And I show it to them. And a lot of it, Courtney, is centered around alternative investing. And what people don't realize, it's a hot market. I'll give you 2 or 3 reasons why. Number one, the SEC just came out and changed the definition of accredited investor back in August. Okay. Why? Because it was really a playground for those that were accredited or had money. So as long as you can afford to lose the money, you were accredited. Okay. They didn't care. Right. So at that point is they're opening up the alternative investing space for more and more people. So that's a trend I hope continues as long as they continue to protect those investors that aren't preyed upon, like with like pump and dumps or some private purchase thing, that the things you watch on American Greed. Like, stay away from that. Do your homework. But there are really good deals that can give you a yield, a return that's better than the market without all that volatility. And just to drop in with a couple of numbers, PricewaterhouseCoopers came out with a report, and they said that the alternative investing market, besides the SEC opening up the literal space, the number of people that can participate by changing the laws and the rules, but already prior to that, from 2018 to 2020, there was a 60% growth in alternative investing dollars to 15 trillion in 2 years, from 2018 to 2020. So the pie is growing. And if you just take Forbes, don't take my word for it, just take Forbes. They say, and most people don't realize, that 30% of their portfolio should be in alternative asset-backed investing, whether that's digital mining, heavy construction equipment and leases, whether it's real estate, asset-backed, cryptocurrency often. But whatever it is, if you're really conservative, it should be 20%. And people I run into all the time are just like, well, I have a 401k, I have an IRA, and I'll look at it, and it's in a diversified portfolio that's in the market. And then when a pandemic happens and the Dow goes from 30,000 to 18,000, they're looking at, oh my God, I got to add 10 years of work because I just lost all that retirement money. So you want to non-correlate at least a good chunk of that. And that's what I spend my time doing.
I love it. So, and I was, when I was looking down, I was taking notes, and, guys, one of the things I want you to understand, like, I went to an event a month ago that was a tax deduction because it's an event that I was going to grow my business. So that was tax deductible. And while I was there, I meet 60 people, didn't actually get to know every single one of those people, but I will over time, because we're all committed to come together and help each other grow our business, not because we financially benefit from each other, not because we have to do it like we're in a BNI type of thing and we have to share and connect people. Nothing like that. It's just business people coming together, because I know people that Joe doesn't know. Joe knows people that I don't know, but they all need the information. And one of the things that I really posted this morning, because I didn't know what Joe did, I didn't really understand it to start off with. But one of the things I posted this morning is that we all have to come together with our gifts, bring the gifts that God has given us, and we have to help people heal financially. Then, because that's number one, whether you believe it or not, you have to help people heal financially first in order to help them heal physically, mentally, and then spiritually. And the reason why is because I can tell you all day long the things that you need to eat, the products that you need to take to help your body heal, which is not medication for that matter. So I'm not even throwing that out yet. Not today. And the things that you need to do for your family, the businesses that you need to get involved in, the investments that you need to get in, they all start with needing the money. And so 46% of Americans don't have an extra $400 to their name right now. And I would be willing to say that that's probably worse than what it was, because that was prior to the pandemic. 69% of Americans don't have an extra $1,000 to their name. And one of the retirement issues that is thrown out there a lot is that 48% of Americans age 55 or over have zero retirement. So you've got some of these people that have average of 19 months and they're of income, and they're going to live for the next 23 years And you've got 48% of Americans who have zero, like zero. And so we have to fix that problem. And one of the things that I really hate, and you may be totally against it. So I'm totally against tax deferred anything. Tax deferred retirement is a major problem for me because taxes are only going to increase, especially with what's happening in our world today. With all of the money that has been borrowed and given back, and the billions and billions of dollars that's been spent on medical care and for vaccines and all this other crap, taxes are going to go up. It's a given. And the goal is to keep from paying taxes, right? Is to eliminate taxes. So what we're talking about today is an alternative way. And some of you on here may not even know and that there are alternative ways to put money into places that you can actually get a return. And a lot of them are massive returns. But what Joe is saying, because I want to break it down, I didn't know this stuff. I was the only reason I do know it, honestly, is I owned an insurance agency. I had a 6 and 63 and a 7. So I had the ability to sell mutual funds and stocks. And I also did life and health insurance for a good 10 years of my life. I did that. And so I really loved it. But the thing is I don't like putting my money somewhere and being scared that I'm going to lose that money. And there are ways that you can put money into places that are very secure, that are much better than the stock market. There are things like you just said, cryptocurrency, which right now is very volatile, right? But that's definitely, you should be putting probably a percentage into some sort of cryptocurrency. There's foreign exchange markets. There is the stock market. And then you have these alternative investments. And so the laws changed in August. And what are the laws now saying what an accredited investor is?
So the question is, it's opening up the space. What they're saying is that too many people like have the money,
yep,
but not knowledge, and
yes,
they're allowed to invest. So right now, and I think this is the first step, I think they may broaden it up more. And I didn't read every letter, Courtney, but I would say that my gist from reading it was that they're allowing people who have the knowledge, even if they work at a firm, if they're part of a fund or an employee of a fund whose the fund's purpose is not to just invest in that one investment. So if
yeah,
you work at and you have experience or knowledge or a license about the risks and what the investment is about itself, then they'll allow you to invest in it as well. So it's definitely opening up the space. They want to make sure you're either working with proximity to someone in a fund, and the fund is investing in it. As long as that fund isn't like the whole purpose of the fund isn't to bring in money just to invest in that one particular investment. So it's definitely going to broaden the number of people that are going to come on. There are still everyday people. What I look to do is structure certain deals as well and find them where we can do it in such a way where you don't have to be accredited, but you can get a return like the accredited investors. And I've been on a mission, and our last deal did that. And we have certain features where it may be where you purchase an equipment and lease it out, and then you get a return on that. Something in the world of big data, but something where the proximity of people that I know that are proven, I can take almost what I want to do, Courtney, is I want to help people. Invest with the same mental attitude as a smart institution.
Yes. Yes. And see, and that's the thing. So an accredited, and I lost Joe, he'll come back. Okay. An accredited investor, for those of you that don't know what that is, that means that you have to be, if you're single, you have to make $200,000 a year. If you are married, it's $300,000 a year, or you can have $1 million in assets. Well, here's the thing. That eliminates a lot of people. So what I'm trying to share, and I think one of the things that I really love and God put me on this earth to do is to educate the masses about how the rich get wealthy and how they continue to make more and more money, and bring it to you in a way that you understand it. Because a lot of times, And I'm not a financial person. I dropped out of my double major for finance. I was like, accounting is plenty for me. I also dropped out of double major for computer science. Like that was one semester, discrete math. I was like, done. Not doing this. Like this is not even real math. What are we doing? Zeros, ones, add up to some sort of number makes no sense. Okay, I'm done. So anyway, the biggest thing I want you guys to understand is there are opportunities out there that allow you to not have to be an accredited investor, but you just have to find them. And the great thing is like God keeps putting people in my path to help me broaden my horizons and understand all of these financial things that come along. And I truly believe that you do need to have your money in different places, especially with the economy and everything that's going right now. Like, don't just have all your money in a 401k. I don't even like 401ks. This is now a good time. There should be infinite banking in place that you have. There should be alternative investments that you have. Maybe you have some money in the stock market. Maybe there's something in foreign exchange. So kind of, if you could explain, Joe, just a little bit about a couple different things that you share on Wealth Colony. I know you've got a lot of education tools and stuff so people can find out about these alternative investments. And then also there's I listed his website inside, it's on here, it's wealthcolony.com. I've listed that and I lost Joe, but I'm sure
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
My phone is blowing up.
It's okay. It's okay. I just want to make sure that you just give them access to where they can find you. And maybe if you just want to share with them a couple of like the alternative investments that you put money into, I would love for you to do that.
Okay. So I will start. You can hear me okay, right?
Yes, but your screen is black, so it looks kind of weird.
My phone, I didn't put it on Do Not Disturb, and so I'm trying to decline my call, so I apologize for that ahead of time. But yeah, at wealthcolony.com, you'll see some things that may interest you. But we've been creative in the space of fintech because, like I said earlier, the world of Wall Street clearly gave me proximity to a lot of fintech pioneers that really developed technology into the way the trading markets evolved and became more efficient. Basically the capital markets became more efficient. If you just look at the New York Stock Exchange, right? It used to be a crazy auction place market. I'd bring clients down there that came from different parts of the country, and it was like, wow, look at this. Now, the New York Stock Exchange is like a museum, a library, and a TV studio. Why? Because all kinds of efficiencies and technology that change our life also change the way the capital markets are run. And in that event, in that same regard, there's a lot of ways that we see that these markets are really evolving. Cryptocurrency is one example. The world of big data, the fourth industrial revolution, there's massive change coming. And it's all about data. You'll have data, literally, Courtney, you'll be able to use it in the world of accounting as an asset that you put on your balance sheet, and a bank will loan money against it. And the reality is that if Facebook and Amazon and Apple and everybody else, Google, can make money on your data, why can't you have your own data as a value? So that's what's happening. Where all the big boys are making money in data, now small companies are going to start to learn to really mine their own data, store it, process it, and have it as an asset class. Just like people didn't understand that cryptocurrency would be an asset class a few years back. Data's next. And we try to operate in that world where we say, hey, listen, this is the return that you're going to get. This is the way we mitigate the risk. And to your point about 401ks and IRAs, even if you don't want to continue to put more money into it, if you have a 401k or IRA now that's just totally overexposed to the stock market, well, you may want to think about moving into a self-directed IRA. That's one thing we really have specialized in. There's like 50 or 60, Courtney, self-directed. They're just administrators. They're not broker dealers, but they make sure they keep the chain of paperwork, of ownership in place so that you maintain your tax protected status with an existing 401k or IRA. We get a lot of money that'll move over from Fidelity. I have a team that I use predominantly in Florida called Advana IRA. And we help people say, all right, I'll take X amount out of my 401k or IRA. I'll move it into a self-directed IRA, and I'll buy this and or that because I'm going to get 13 or 20% a year. And here's how the risk is mitigated. And I'd rather I'll give you one example. There's one, if you looked at like $150,000, just as a round number, it could be more, could be less, do the math, right? 150,000 earning 6% a year in 5 years compounded. And you know that you just pointed it out, that taxes are rising too, right? But 150,000 a year with 6% a year compounded is worth 200 grand in 5 years. If you're making, God forbid, 13 or 15 or 20% in that same 5 years, you will earn, an extra 2 years or 3 years of income to live off at the end of your retirement. That's just in 5 years of retiring. And that's just by having a superior income without the risk versus the stock market. And we can show you how to do that. Like calendly.com/wealthcolony. You can book an appointment or email me. That works too, joe@wealthcolony.com. But we're always looking, Courtney, for something new and something's next. That's what really gets me up in the morning. I want to bring an opportunity that I know Courtney or the next, customer that I speak to, client, ecosystem partner, hasn't heard of it, doesn't have access to it, at a bare minimum is intrigued and is, at best comfortable enough to do some type of investment with whatever they're comfortable with. And then they're in our ecosystem, and then they get to see and hear everything we do from here on in. And we've done some exciting stuff over the years.
I love it. So I am going, just so you guys are aware, I'm kind of diving out and I'm connecting people to the people that I know, the people that are helping me in the direction of not only growing my business, but growing myself financially, growing my mindset. And so I'm just sharing with you those people because it takes time to find people that you truly can trust. And one of the hardest things in business, I think, is to know what to do, where to go. And, I've failed a couple times in business. I've lost everything I own twice and been able to gain it back. And I want to be able to help other people not take that path that's that stupid road, right? To help them take the road less stupid. That's really what this is all about. And I want to help you understand some of the things that I understand. I don't know everything. I love the fact that I can say that I can learn every single day from different people in my horizon. Like I have relationship coaches and, friends that literally can move into your house and turn around autism in a matter of weeks. And, I have friends that are amazing in the financial space. I have friends who are amazing in the relationship space, friends who are amazing in the health space. And I'm so grateful that I am able to align with those people. And I'm just going to be sharing them. One, I want to share their prior experience so you know that you can truly be successful if you are working to try to get to a point. If you're in a place where you don't know that you can make it in business, I want to be here to say, yes, you can. Like, yes, you can. You have everything it takes. It's just you have to utilize the people that are around you. And last thing I'll say is that you are truly the top 5 people you hang around with. And if you're not hanging around with people that are smarter than you, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be worse off than you were before. And so I just want to make sure people understand that. And with COVID, you don't get to hang around with as many people. So I'm bringing them to you so you can understand and you can educate yourself. And some of them you may be of interest to, and some of them you may not. And then we're going to share tax savings along the way with all of this, because one of the things that I will tell you that typically in the space of the financial world, they're trying their very best to give you things that are tax deferred, thinking that it's going to actually push you into buying. And that's the wrong way to focus on it. If you talk to an accountant about anything financial, they're looking at it one way. Typically, they're looking at it, how are they going to save money in taxes? That's not the way I look at it. And the reason why I look at it differently is because I'm an entrepreneur. I know what does and doesn't work because I've already screwed up a couple times. So, and then I get to ask questions from people around me and get the support and the help. But the next thing is, even as an entrepreneur, I've been in the financial world, I've been in the investment world, I've been in the insurance world, and I've been in the accounting world. So when you combine all that together, you get a broader aspect and looking out on the outside saying, what is best for my family? What is best for today? What is best for my future? And you get to ask yourself all those questions. And that's what I want you to do. So when you have someone who's trying to sell to you, I need you to understand first and foremost, they may not understand the big picture. And that's what I'm trying to bring to you. So you know the right questions to ask. You know how to understand that it's not just about tax savings. It's not just about financial. It's about putting those all together and creating one comprehensive plan to help you live your life better. So, Joe, what do you have? Last words. I want them to be able to reach out to you. So, I've put your website in the comments.
Okay.
I know you said there's a Calendly. Is
It's
that what it is?
C-A-L-E-N, Calendly.
Yes.
Calendly. Calendly.com/wealth colony. You can book an appointment with me. We'll reach out to you and have a quick call. Yeah, I mean, you just said it beautifully. It's about who you surround yourself with. One of the things since I've gotten into this movement, Courtney, is helping people understand what their ecosystem is and how they can add value to it, and how they can merge it with other ecosystems, especially in the world of COVID with Zoom. Zoom,
Yes.
we learned, I had a doctor that I just, we got to one of these calls and like, oh, you're going to get on one of these things we do called a Real Raw Open. And he was kind of skeptical and kicking and screaming a little bit, right? But when he got on there, he said, listen, this was like a 15-person business blind date. And when I left, I wanted to marry everyone, right? And we can show people how they can, take their ecosystem and work with others. And you know what? You don't have to drive. You don't have to go to a steak dinner, or go to golfing, or go to a show, whatever that you typically do with your clients, even though that's fun. You can just get on a Zoom call, and it's way more efficient because you can have 5, 10, 15 dinners at once in the same hour to 90 minutes and get a lot accomplished. And at the end of the day, you learn something, you have some fun, and you might actually do business with some of the people that you meet. So that's one of the things that we do. Also, if you want to reach out, and we'll show you how. But certainly, we have something now that gives you a 13% return. It gets paid quarterly. You can't get 13% in 8 years in a bank, something like that. It's 3.25% per
Yes.
quarter. You get a check every quarter. And then there's a way to get additional upside without additional risk. So I can share that with you as well. But I'm happy to help in any way, Courtney. If anyone reaches out, we'll make sure we will take care of any of your fans and guests and friends and ecosystem. We're here for you to serve.
Well, and that one thing, and I want to add this in before we.
I'm going to turn this side.
Good. You're good. One of the things I do want to add, and he is talking about something called Unblinded. And that's actually how we met. And it cost you nothing to be a part of. And if it's something that you are looking to meet with other business people, just to hang out, just to get personal growth and development, we do something every morning at 8:30 called the Unblinded Huddle.com. So you can go there, unblindedhuddle.com, I think is what the website is, Joe. And so you can go there and listen every morning at 8:30. So it's just people coming together with strategies and tools and to help each other have a better life and to help each other have a better business. We connect. So I'm not even going to throw it into a category at all of a BNI, but I just want you to kind of wrap your head around it. It's a way for business owners, high level business owners, to come together who understand that by creating relationships, amazing relationships with other business owners, that you have people I don't know, I have people you don't know, and that we can help educate all of those people. And that together, instead of 1 + 1 = 2, it's more like 1 + 1 = 10. So we can help each other grow. And it's a lot more fun to help each other work together than it is anything else.
It is. And there's one thing that I learned, Courtney, is that a lot of people, when they're in, networking tends to be more randomized, and you sit down with somebody, and in this place you can literally go around a Zoom and you can drop the people next to you that you want to be next to. You can have a lot of fun. on a Zoom call. But what I will tell you is that studies have proven this, that innovation comes from outside of your industry very often. And you get someone like Sean or someone like you or somebody on there that you hear somebody, it may be a doctor, it may be a life coach, it may be a chiropractor, it may be an accountant, it may be, you know, a financial advisor, somebody, some type of business person who owns car washes, right? Whatever it is, they have some kind of difficulty or they have some kind of struggle. And then boom, somebody that you least expect says, hey, why don't you think about this? Why don't you try this? And for free, you just got a real solution to a real problem that you're having. And that's the awesomeness of what we do, because everybody's really, truly symbiotic and looking to help each other accelerate, you know, in business and life for that matter. So yeah, 100%.
I love it. I love it, Joe. And I appreciate you being on here today with me. Guys, this has been another episode of What's Your Plan B? Why you be brain dead, not own a business. And I thank you so much. And you guys have an amazing day.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome. Take care,
Thank
everyone.
you.